some history on street racing.
That way the kids don't have any reason to be on the public streets.
All right, so we locked in. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the AARA podcast. My name's Chris Harris. I'm here with my partner, Sinclair Gordon, and we are excited to have a special guest here. He is young. He's doing it in the NASCAR world. He is just everything young kids that dream about getting in race cars, and he's living a life as a teenager. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to introduce Rajah Caruth.
Thanks, Chris. Thank y'all for having me.
No, I appreciate you being on, man. Really, really do.
It's been awesome. So let's just start this off a little bit. Rajah, we know that you have a big career and background in iRacing. What was your first rig? How did that first look when you first got into the whole sport?
My first race attending was September 2014 at Richmond Raceway. It was a NASCAR Nationwide Series event, and that was pretty fun just because I'd been a fan for so long, and to finally get that experience was really awesome. And my first sim race that I participated in, it was in the eNASCAR Ignite Series. It was I guess 2 summers ago now, and yikes. That's all I'll have to say. I'll have to say on that.
So what you mean, Forza didn't translate over into this?
It was my first go at it, so I didn't know what to expect, and just yikes, and that was it.
So when you did the sim racing, were you using like a controller? Were you using an actual steering wheel? Like how was that set up for you?
Yeah, so I had a steering wheel and stuff, pretty basic setup, but I was also like on my MacBook, so that was kind of annoying. So to go off a little screen and do that, but that's what my setup was.
So that must have been pretty difficult because like even if you have one of the larger Macs, they're maybe 15 inches like wide. So like you have like the super tunnel vision going in, and then like I guess translating that over to a car must have been really difficult because with your peripherals you have so much more to see. Like how was that adjustment going?
Yeah, that was one of the things I kind of struggled with last year was, like you said, not having that tunnel vision and having to use, my whole, I guess, orientation and getting oriented to physically being in a race car. That was one of the things that, I figured it out, but, I struggled a little bit with it last year. So.
Dope. So being, going to the simulator, but before that, you were just a regular kid that, like many of us did growing up, had dreams of, I would wish to do that one day. I would wish to do that one day. And then your dad took you to a race and you were hooked, huh?
Yeah, I mean, before that, I was a student of the sport. Like I had this encyclopedia I got when I was 7. I probably read that from cover to cover. It's like 600 pages. I probably read that cover to cover like over a dozen times in the past, however many, 10 years or whatever. So before I went to that race, I was really a student of the sport and just really obsessed with it. So,
did you know that? Because sometimes you go, I want to, let's say like basketball. I know I want to be a basketball player. I know I want to be a football player. Did you know that this is well, obviously you knew that's what you want to do, but did you know that you were going to do it? Like without a doubt, by any means necessary, I'm going to figure this out and this is what I want to do with my life.
I mean, yeah. And I mean, you have to have that mentality if you want to do this specifically, just because it's that hard to get into it. So you have to be that mentally tough to say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it. So to answer your question, I've always had that, I guess, idea about not really with other stuff, but more with racing. If you ask me something about schoolwork, I did not have that same approach. So I had to work on that. But I think, like you said, when I went to that first race, it was just, this is it. This is what it's going to be.
So you use the word obsessed. Like that's a really, really strong word. Or you like, let's paint a picture. Like, do you have like NASCAR, like bed sheets, the pillow, the posters? Like how bad was it really?
Yeah. So, okay. I'll put it this way. So in our old house in DC, so I couldn't like my mom didn't get me or my mom didn't let me get like racing sheets and stuff like that because she thought it was a little too much. But if you would have looked at like my walls and looked in all my drawers and stuff, and the floor in my room and stuff, it would just be like little diecast toys, posters, hero cards, you name it. Just, it was all I thought about when I would come home from school was just, okay, is there a race on? What can I watch on YouTube? Can I play NASCAR 15 on the PS3 or something? Or I don't know, just whatever. This was infatuated with it.
That's
So
that's awesome.
one last question to kind of follow with that. So since you were obsessed with everything, what is your number one race that you watched like a million times where you just know every single line that every driver was taking and you can visualize it in your head?
Man, that's tough. I mean, a lot of races fall in that category, to be honest with you. I'm still very obsessed. Like I watch even like tons of races a day. So to give you one answer, I'll say the 2014 Ford EcoBoost 400. I think that race was the finale for the Cup Series that year. Kevin Harvick won the championship. I watched that race in its entirety probably like 5 or 6 times, but I've seen watch like different clips and portions of it like double digits. And so, I kind of know how they manage their races, the drivers, and how that race went down. But that's just like one of many. It's just, being obsessed with it. So.
So now you are a freshman at a HBCU, Winston-Salem State University. How is that juggling? And of course, we have the wonderful Rona going on, right? So how is that juggling school, driving, and just everything else that's going on? Because typically, like I played sports in college, so I understood the grind of having to get up. But that was for the school, being a professional, not an NCAA football player, but being a professional race car driver and then having to juggle school. They're completely separate entities. How do you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit hard. I mean, just because both my parents are educators, so they were really strictly on school. But that doesn't mean I'm really that good at it. So I've had to work on like my time management skills a lot. But it's been hard, but not terrible. I knew when I decided to go to college that I was gonna take up this challenge, and so I got to put in the work. So nothing new.
I mean, that's going to be amazing once everything gets back to normal and you're on campus and, there goes the NASCAR driver, Rajah over there. That's going to be all right. I mean, you're going to be signing autographs in the lunchroom, and it's going to be pretty cool, man.
I hope to be a regular kid. I mean, I hope that's not too much to ask for, right?
Well, people are probably recognizing you more and more now. How is that, just being in college and kind of getting that spotlight, but you're like in this stage where you're not superstardom, but you're still like approachable? Like how's that going around, like just being in campus?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been on campus in a little while just because all my classes are online. But like I've just been really just discreet. I'm to myself a lot. I'm not, I feel like I'm a quiet-ish person. So I hope when things get back to normal, it can kind of stay that way. Like social stuff is cool and all, but like I'm cool in it a lot of the time. So.
Well, 2 weeks ago, you got your first win. You were in South Carolina. You were at Greenville Pickens Raceway. How was that to finally get your first win?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty big. Just because like our whole weekend was pretty really good. When we had our first practice and stuff, all the way till race time, like all the changes we made were all positive. And we didn't even make that many changes to the car, but I figured out the line I needed to run and like the different paces and just how to just continue on the stuff we've built all summer. And it really worked out. In racing, I think a lot of it is out of your hands. So that just means that, you especially have to make sure that you do everything you're supposed to, and you're 100% focused. And it just worked out for us last weekend. I'm hoping we can do the same thing this weekend and carry that momentum into the off season.
That's awesome. What's your typical week like? Like, do you have a lot of seat time in the car? And I know it's probably different now, just given that what's going on in the world. But give us like what your typical week is like.
Yeah, so like during the summer and stuff, this summer was kind of different, not only due to COVID, but in terms of kind of my slate for what races I've been doing. Like this summer, I raced on Tuesdays in legend cars, and then in addition to racing like every other weekend in late models. And so like during the week for our late model stuff, even if we don't have stuff to do, I still try to be here, early in the morning. And then on Mondays and Wednesdays, I had class. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm there till 4:30. And then just whether it's doing stuff on my computer or helping with our cars or the ARCA stuff, or just helping around the shop, just using my time wisely and just working, and that's really it.
How's the diversity program in Rev Racing been for you? I know a big thing about their program is introducing minorities and underrepresented individuals into the sport. How's that been for your development?
Yeah, the program's been big for me. Jack University, it's got a lot of great people here, and they're real helpful to not only me but all my teammates, and just giving us what we need to do, whether it's to go run races or work out, do stuff on social media, on iRacing, whatever. Everybody in this program is real helpful, and so it's, especially personally, like I feel like this is home, and everybody's here to help all of us, not just me, but all of our teammates and stuff. So it's pretty fun program.
That's awesome.
Oh, so you speak very, very highly of Red Racing, and rightfully so, since Bubba Wallace came from there, and some other legendary people that are NASCAR. How does that put any weight on your shoulders? Because you're following the same footsteps as Bubba Wallace and trying to getting into the league and going pro. How does that feel?
I mean, I don't really feel pressure like that. Like Kobe said, it's like if you did the prep, what's the pressure for? So, I don't really feel pressure. Every second of every day, it's, I see it as, okay, what can I learn to, be better when I'm back in a race car? Whether it's being on iRacing, talking to people, watching stuff, listening to podcasts, everything is for that purpose. So, I'm putting in the preparation, the time, the effort. So, what's there to be pressure for, right?
Very, very true.
Do you have a ritual? Like, sometimes people have game day rituals where they have the same playlist or they eat the same breakfast. Like, are you superstitious? Do you have a ritual that you always do?
Not really. I don't know if I've been doing it long enough to have those yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I will. I just it's another day. It's another day in paradise. I mean,
my man swag is unbelievable. He's just too cool. He's like, I got this.
And
that's needed though, right? You need that. You need that to be under pressure in situations when you're racing, something goes wrong. You just gotta.
Yeah, you just gotta keep the same energy. When you start, overthinking and getting all frazzled and whatnot, like, and from playing, pro ball and stuff, like, or playing ball, like, it's gonna get worse if you keep letting it get to yourself. So you just gotta keep the same energy.
Absolutely. How's things with your family now that they see you? Because it seems like you're really close with your family, and how's that transition been? Because you said they're both educators, and racing wasn't really a thing that they were really concentrating on for you. But now that you've made these steps and having success, like, how's that been with them?
Yeah, so my dad has been really on board and been helping me, but it took a little bit of convincing to get my mom on board. But I think we finally got her last summer. But they've been both really supportive, both my parents and my sister and my extended family too. Everybody's been really helpful, and made sacrifices so I could, be down here and go to races and make business cards to give out to people and get on iRacing and be on there for hours every day. Everybody in my corner has been really helpful. So it's also my dad's birthday today, so that's pretty cool. And everybody in my family is real sweet.
That's awesome. And I know Sinclair brought up Bubba Wallace. What's your relationship with him? Like you said, he's come through that program. When we talk about representation, being able to see somebody and not necessarily following their full steps exactly, but have a blueprint to, understanding what it takes, or maybe somebody to reach out to on that level. Do you guys speak?
Yeah, so I first met Bubba in 2018 at the All-Star race, and it's just I've got to know him a little bit better over the years, and he's been a help for me to making sure I make good decisions and not mess up and fall for social media trolls and stuff like that. And not only Bubba, but people like William Byron and Josh Williams have been helpful to me, and making sure that just showing me how they made it and little tips and tricks that they've learned over the years. And so it's not only Bubba, but a bunch of other people as well have been really helpful to me to make sure, since like you said, it's not a lot of us here that have try to make it. So it's just kind of just getting different information from different people and trying to piece something together to see what will work for me.
That's awesome. Just to be able to have that access to these guys. And now when you're out there and you're winning races and you're running in these races, how do you feel like with the kids that come up to you and look up to you? I know for me, it was something that I used to love it. And, you get out these cars and you see little kids and they want your autograph and they want to take pictures with you. Like, how does that feel? I know you're more mellow, low key kind of guy, but to kind of see that how you looked at Bubba is now how a lot of kids are looking at you, and some of the responsibility that comes with that.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool just because like I have little cousins too that have gone to some races with me, and so I kind of just think of them as little cousins and little siblings. So it's pretty cool. I mean, like you said, it's a responsibility to to be a role model and to interact with people that look up to you. So I'm ready for it, and they're all just little cousins, so it's pretty cool.
Man, I have to say, like, just speaking to you, like the level-headedness that you have it's like I'm speaking to somebody that's been racing for the past like 30 years. Like, does it ever like really start getting to you where you start pumping up your chest to like, man, this is good. Like, what keeps you grounded?
I mean, I don't know. Like, the only time I really get like that is like in the shower or something. Like, other than that, like I'm just the same. I mean, I guess the thing that keeps me grounded the most is just like, I don't know, just caring about it so much. I guess the negativity helps a little bit just because kind of keeps me on my toes and make sure, okay, not to, I guess, give any value and gravity to, all the naysayers and stuff, but to say, okay, we're not, job's not finished at all. So, it's just, I don't know. I care about it so much, and I want to put my life into this. Whether I'm done racing tomorrow, I would do anything just to, have a job at a race team or at NASCAR itself, just because, there's nothing else I would do in the world. So, yeah.
Wow. Not to focus on the negativity, but how can there even be any naysayers? Like, you literally went from iRacing to like sim racing into a car, and you were able to transfer your talent over to that and still make it into these programs where hundreds of people are applying for it every single time. Like, the talent speaks for itself.
Yeah, I mean, you would think so, right? But
they say if you don't have haters, you're not popping. So
exactly. So, like Dame says, it's the thank you to my haters. So it's great. It's great. I love it, to be honest with you, just because I know I have something that motivates me inside, and so to have that externally too, to not let it like sink in, degrade my character and stuff, but just to use it as fuel. So I love it. So.
Wow.
I mean, that's awesome, man. Like I said, you don't realize when you're in it, but you're definitely a trailblazer, and you're a hero to a lot of kids that now for me, it's exciting to watch you kind of go through the ranks, and then I'm excited to see where the rest of your career is going to go. And then just understanding for us, me and Sinclair talk about all the time, and the big reason why we, created this program is because representation is huge, right? We can get, for me, NASCAR, I used to watch Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Dale Earnhardt Sr., but, there's never at that time anybody that looked like me that I knew about. So for you, and like I said, for you to be young, you got 360 waves. I mean, you represent a culture, right? And it's such a culture thing that you represent, and that people can see you doing your thing and go, you know what? There is a place for me in that world. And I can look at what he did, and maybe I can get the opportunity to follow your blueprint or deviate from it. So you're in it, and you may not realize how big of an impact you have, but it's massive, man. And I commend you. My hat's off to you. You're a really dope kid. I had a good time just learning about what you got going on, and excited for your future, man.
Thanks, Chris. Like the thing I think a lot of people don't know is like, aside from the stereotypes around, racing and NASCAR specifically, like, everybody in the sport, and especially, the experiences that I've had at the racetrack, whether I'm racing or I'm just a fan, have been all positive. Even when I went to my first race, and, people with different political beliefs and things like that, it's when you're there, you're there to see a race. And so, fans and drivers and crew members, everybody they're good people. So that's something that, I didn't expect at first, but, I've really grown to appreciate and really be glad to see that, it's a lot of good people in racing. It's a lot, the overwhelming majority of people in this industry. So it's pretty cool. And, I just know that, once the stereotype, you can only do so much to change, other people's opinions and whatnot. But, hopefully, things that I do on my end maybe can help that in the next, 10, 15 years. And, maybe we can be talking about, instead of in the same breath as, the finals the other day, you can talk about, the NASCAR playoffs or the Cup Series playoffs. So.
And you're the guy to make it happen, and the guys like you. And I think I'm glad that you said that and mentioned that there's so much positivity of people of all races, colors, and creeds, because it's unfortunate sometimes just the negative gets the publicity. And we've done interviews with Bill Lester and just talking with some of the guys and understanding what they went through. And for you to say you understand that and your experiences are not necessarily the same, but we still have some time to go in representation and people are able to see. And I'm excited, man. I'm going to be following you closely. We hope everybody else who's watching this is following you closely. And what's next? Like, what's next for you? What's next?
Well, that's coming out soon. So you guys will hear about, our plans for next year soon, and
Really?
kind of what I got going on. So still a lot of stuff to be planned, but we've got some things in cement right now in real life and on the sim. So I'm excited to announce that in our off season. Got a new helmet coming, new suit and stuff like that. So I think you guys will like it, especially with what you guys going on. To give a little bit of a hint, we lost somebody pretty important for our community over the past couple of weeks. So to see something cool I'm gonna have on my helmet, I know you guys will like that. So I can't wait to show you guys. I guess in the coming.
Swag champ.
If you think about it honestly, like I just realized like it's October, November, December, January, and then we're back at it January and February. So it's not that quick at all. So we'll be back on soon. I can't wait to show you guys what we got cooking up.
Well,
Can't wait.
I'm chomping at the bits. I'm already calculating on what it possibly could be.
Well, we will be following you every step of the way. We will be sharing your story, every accomplishment. We will be making sure that the world knows it because it's super important. And you're the future of the sport. And we really appreciate you just taking a little bit of time and just chopping it up with us.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Harris. Thanks, Sam. Thank y'all, man.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right, peace.